What is true time freedom? Okay, great question. Well, I think it's self-explanatory, right? Time freedom is where you've got time to do what you want to do. There is the time to do what you want to do, but are you tied into the business? So freedom, I think that most people would be to do what they want to do, whether it's time with the family, traveling, whatever they want to do outside of the business. For some it might be, I just want to work in the business on the stuff that I really enjoy. And for others it is that the true test is that a business can eventually work without them. And I think a good question to be asking yourself is, if I took 3 months off, what would the business look like when I returned? 3 or 6 months. If when you go on holiday, when you come back, are you finding more work than before you left? So if that's the case, then you haven't got time freedom. So let's look at a case with a client of mine where he had challenges around this, and look at what we did and how we helped him with that. So the client I'm thinking of has got a chain of retail stores in East Anglia, 5 in different towns and cities around East Anglia, and they're very successful, 200 plus employees working for them, but he was time poor. So we had to work on getting him to have the time to be able to work on growing the business. So we first did an analysis of his time. That's where we need to see first, just where is your time going? So we did a time log for a while and we found out just what was happening with his time. And what we found is the biggest challenge to his time was interruptions. And this was often where people would come to him with a problem and he'd do one of two things. He'd either tell them, that's fine, leave it with me. Or when people were coming to him with a challenge, he'd be telling them what to do about that. And let's look at what the issues are there and what we did about it. So the first one is people coming to you with a problem and you saying that you'll solve it. There's actually a book on this called The 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey. And it talks about when people have a problem, that's effectively like a monkey on their back weighing them down. So they're looking for somebody else to take that monkey from them. And when they find a boss who's willing to take that monkey from them, then they can leave free without the monkey on their back. Trouble is, you've then got the monkey on your back, right? So how do we stop him from taking all those monkeys? So he really had to just to be disciplined himself to throw it back at them. So when they came to him with a problem, he'd ask them a question. So just what do you think you should do? And often people would say, I don't know what to do. That's why I'm coming to you. Help coach them, help them to understand, help them to find a solution. Well, who do you think would be best to speak to? What would you do if I wasn't here? Who do you think would be best to speak to? Where would you find a solution if I wasn't here? And get them thinking. And so send them away with the monkey with an idea of how they could solve it. And the other thing, where he was telling people before what to do with a problem, he didn't realise this, but he was basically just sustaining people coming to him all the time. And think about the impact that that's having on your team. So when we start out in business, we it's a hit for our ego to think that we can solve every problem, right? But as we grow, if we're having to be there and answer every query, then it's going to significantly hold back our rate of growth. But that's not the only thing. It holds back the rate of growth of the individuals. Just what are you subconsciously telling your team by not trusting? Well, that's what you're telling them. If you're telling them what to do every time, you're effectively telling them that you don't trust them to find a solution. So somewhere along the line, they've been trained to come to you for a solution. So we've got to untrain them and we've got to give them the confidence to solve the problem themselves. So he just changed what he was saying. So every time someone came to him, he'd be saying, well, what do you think? And if people wanted to speak to him there and then, he'd set up a meeting on a Thursday. Say, well, look, is it super urgent or can it come to Thursday's meeting? Well, you could come to Thursday's meeting. We'll bring it then, and I expect you to come with a solution. So he'd be educating people to always be coming to him with a solution. So gradually over time, what happened was that people started coming to him less and less. He had less on his plate, and he started to empower the team as well. It's really amazing to see the change in the team and how they started to evolve and build their confidence as they started to take ownership and responsibility for problems moving forward.